Okay, so last time in the Curse of Fey, we found ourselves once again, the party members, following the barks of a lost dog somewhere hidden between this sort of intertwining tunnel system of briars, and having had a short rest at what was effectively a Red Cap's sort of camp, you headed north, following the tunnel, leading you deeper into this tunnel system of briar. And after a short distance, you came across some odd little leaves and shrubs that seemed to be growing out of the ground around you. They were quite withered and dry, and didn't seem to be too long for this world, shall we say. And as you were sort of going through, you might have stepped on a couple initially, and then you sort of made a very dry sort of crunch underfoot. Surprisingly, I think that Volodomi, I think you, being at the very back of the party, seemed to notice movement up ahead before anyone else. And that was because there was sort of a mound of sorts of sort of purplish, blackish sort of leaves that seemed to be moving. And I think Tisvan, you being at the front, noticed this sort of little pile just sort of bend and sort of pull away from the ground. And underneath was made visible a kind of face and some sort of arms and things of a creature sort of laying almost flat down on the floor. And the face itself was, I think I described it as being like a stingray, like a sort of like a slit of this sort of downturned mouth and little eyes, little beady eyes. And as it sort of like showed itself there, you attempted to walk carefully, trying not to step on any other of the plants or the leaves that were on the ground. Unfortunately, that didn't go too well, and after a couple of hesitant steps and crushing of plant leaves, this whatever this creature is came straight for you. And quick thinking, you all managed to back up down the pathway and go back to where the Red Cap encampment had been, where you were stepping. And the creature seemed to go no further than where the plants were that you initially came to. After that, there was talk about perhaps going in the opposite direction, back the way you had came. But Moni pointed out that there was this smell, this rotting kind of stench of decay and death that she smelt the other way. So it was decided that you would continue going up in the path that you had originally taken, and hoping that whatever this leafy creature is, it had disappeared, gone away, or you could get past it. Thankfully, it seemed to be sort of dormant the second time you went through, and a few of you managed to skip your way through to the other side without too much problems. But unfortunately, again, a few of you managed to crush these plants underfoot, and the creature lifted its head and did come barreling towards you. So you chose to run down the passageway that you were heading down, past this leaf creature, trying to get out of its distance, and barreled straight into essentially quicksand. Tisvan and who is it who went in first of all? I've forgotten now. Galatea.
I think I went in, yeah.
That's right, yes. You two were the first ones to make contact with this quicksand. Very similar to that you'd seen earlier on your journey, that Moni had fallen into. A grey, ashen kind of mud that to the naked eye might not be too visible. Had you not been running, you may have been able to sense it before you getting there, but unfortunately, running along, looking over your shoulder to make sure this other creature wasn't following, you fell straight into it. The next people behind you, I think Bula was one of the people behind you, and unfortunately they weren't able to stop quite in time as you started to sink and did land on you, pushing you in a great deal. To cut a long story short, there was quite a few attempts at trying to get both past and also out of this mud several times. Some of you getting in, then getting out, and then having to try and transverse it again. Your clerics managed to quite effectively run across the top of it and get to the other side. So Moira and Goodness names, Kane, Kane, managed to make it to the other side, and were then encouraging the rest of you to follow them there, offering help as well. There were attempts to try and walk across. Bula, very, very positive in their actions about running across and following Kane, their friend, unfortunately leading to them to sink quite quickly into the quicksand. And through the use of ropes and various abilities, you managed to keep Bula mostly on the surface, but eventually she succumbed to this pulling, this quicksand pulling at her legs, pulling her under, and several times she did disappear below the sand. She was eventually pulled back up again, then would disappear again, and it looked like things were getting too dire, to say the least. But thankfully, to some quick thinking from Amaros and then from Galatea as well, they managed to use a spell that obviously made the mud around you begin to freeze, or at least harden enough that you could be walked on slightly easier. And through a clever use of this spell to be able to kind of freeze and make a pathway, you did eventually manage to get over to the other side and pull Bula eventually free. Sorry, I forgot the most important thing as well. Not only was it that, there was the use of an item that was picked up in the carnival before you even came into the Feywild itself, that Amaros managed to win on a game, and using some of that to help levitate Bula, she had enough ability then to wiggle free of the mud's grip, and through pulling and floating and a combination of those things, you managed to get safely to the other side of this mud patch. Now that you're all relatively safe on this side of the quicksand, you took a moment to clean yourselves off, to try and get rid of this horrible ashen muck that was on you, and to perhaps take another moment or two to rest. However, Galatea, as you've been using prestidigitation to try and clean off mainly Bula, who's been covered head to toe, it becomes apparent that the ashen mud has either stained or somehow leached the colour out of the skin of anything that it has touched. And so Bula, now you find yourself at least areas of your body that have not got some sort of protection, so trousers, tight socks and shoes and things like that. Anything that has come in contact directly with the mud is now devoid of colour. So Bula, your skin is now an ashen grey. And your hair, though at the roots you can still see the green, the hair that is on the surface or at the end is now an ashen grey as well. So it's almost like you have aged. Your hair has now become grey prematurely. The others that happen to have maybe come in contact with the mud, if it was your lower half and you have trousers and things on, you probably are right. If you were wearing anything loose, midriff or anything like that, there may be parts of your body that now has ashen sort of marks or discoloration of the body and the skin at those points. But I'll leave that to you to decide on how that has affected you. But you find yourselves sitting on the other side after pulling yourselves through this horrible, goopy, ashen mud. What would you like to do now?
Cry.
That is a free action.
I think I'm just gonna sit for a bit and look at my grey hands, and do up the clothes, because I'd sort of half pulled off some of my clothes to just check where all the discoloration was.
And did you decide that there was? You obviously mentioned your hands. Did any part of your upper body, were there like sort of small parts of your back or your front that now devoid of colour?
I think I worked out I actually measured myself for this commitment to the D&D. I think it only reached my belly button, and I'm shorter than her. And she's got high-waisted trousers on, so they would have covered it. And long boots as well. So I don't think there would have been much on her actual body, but her hands, especially her palms,
Right.
are colorless, or just grayscale. And
Yeah.
there's a few patches on the back of her hands as well. And I think the inside of the cloak like splashed up the bottom of the cloak as well.
That's right. Yeah. So that's a good point. Actually, I didn't mention that. Yeah. So any of the clothes that have gone into the muck as well, although it might be difficult to tell if you've still got thick mud on there until it's wiped away cleanly. But yes, your clothes will be devoid of color as well.
I mean, my cloak was already grey, and my trousers were grey.
Yes.
Well, the cloak was green, my greenish grey, and my trousers were grey.
That's right.
So not much of a difference.
But so we said that the inside of your cloak, which would have been laying against the mud, will have been grey, but the outside would still retain colour if it had so. And of course, Tisfan being grey already, you've almost got like a tan line now for this action.
Got a bit of a tan.
Yeah. So where would the mud have touched you and your skin?
Well, it would more be splashes around the arms and hands, since he's pretty well covered from his feet up to his neck.
Right.
He does have some of his forearms showing, so it would mostly be spots of, well, a bit of a tan.
You just have like those sort of like almost like a bad like fake tan. You know, like you put it on, there's like a line probably somewhere or splash marks that just won't rub off.
And of course, his black pants are now completely grey instead.
Yes. And Moni, I think you did touch at the mud a little bit because you fell off of Kane when he tried to hoik you across to the safety of the other side, but you didn't actually sink into the mud, so you're probably all right. Your bottom of your feet maybe got a little bit, but you should be good. And I think Kane, you're fully armored and stuff. You ran across the top. You didn't sink in, so you're good as well. And Amoros, I don't believe sunk in. Let me check my journal because I'm trying to decide.
If I remember correctly from the VODs, I missed that section. I didn't sink in, but I think I bounced off Tisven and landed on my butt, at least at the start. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I've got written down here that you've got 2 levels of gloom, so you must have gone in at some point. Yeah. So you must have sunk a little bit at some point. I would say that it's probably only it was only a foot or something if that's the case. But you would have had to make a roll. So if I've got it written down here that you've got a couple of levels of the gloom corruption, so write that. You just make a note of that. You've got 2 levels of gloom corruption, and I think Bula, you had 3.
Yeah, because I did get up to 4, but then
that's right.
With everyone getting all relieved and stuff, it went down to 3 again.
That's right. Yeah.
I had 1.
You had 1, and Tisfan had 2.
Yes, sir.
So pretty much, everyone but the 2 who managed to make it across in one go. Everyone else has got at least 1, if not more, gloom corruption. And those of you I have sent messages to, you will understand how that is affecting you. Amoros,
still in effect?
It is still in effect, yes.
Cool.
Amoros, I rolled for you, so you we'll just note that you have 2 gloom. Actually, let me double check my little my little chart here, just in case there's anything that I need to tell you. But in the meantime, if you wanted to have a little chat amongst yourselves about what your next step might be.
What are we doing? What are we doing here? I don't think we can make it any further.
This was just a small setback. Didn't you want to find that dog?
You're very quiet, Kane. I don't know if you can get a bit closer to the microphone or start shouting.
Is this any better?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay. Kane is trying to be reassuring. He says it's just a small setback. I thought that you wanted to find this dog.
Not that badly. Look at us. We can't even get across a bit of mud.
You say that, but look at the things that we've overcome already. Things that would fell people weaker than us.
I just want to go home.
I think that currying favor with the locals is a surefire way for us to figure out how we can get back home. I miss being back on my own plane of being more than anyone, but we have to take what life's given us, being here, and run with it. We can't give up now.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
Forge ahead. That's all we can do.
I'm just so tired. I don't even know if it's if it's nighttime or nothing changes here. How?
Some things change.
At this point, Bula will be like, look, I changed. I'm grey.
Yeah, you are.
That's true, and also the relationship that I have with all of you, I think has changed in these last few days. I am ashamed in a way to admit that I was very suspicious of those of you that I hadn't met before at the festival. I find it very hard to trust people when I first meet them, but you've all proved that you're good people in your own way, and I think that we can get through this tangle of thorns and evil men wearing red hats if we continue to stick together as a party and use our best instincts.
Well, okay, but what do the rest of you say? I got you into all this, and I don't know how to get you out again.
Fair. while I'm uncomfortable being in here to begin with, we all agreed to this, and when it comes to getting us into the Feywild, we all kind of stumbled into it, I would say.
Yeah, but we didn't decide on a whim to go and rescue some dog then in a place where everything wants to eat you.
But we had a choice, and we took that choice. You offered us a choice, or rather, you pointed out that this had happened, and we all agreed on that. Yeah, we are not fine with this dog being lost, potentially wounded in a in an area that probably will kill it. So I say we try to find this poor pup.
Okay. Um. Can. Do you think we can rest here first? I don't. I'm so tired.
I don't. We could probably rest for a short bit, but a longer rest is probably not advisable within here.
Okay. Okay. But if anything happens, we run and we look out for more mud and we jump and we don't get in. And we'll do the freezing thing because I know how to do that now. Thanks for that. By the way, I haven't done that before. That was kind of cool.
I'm glad it helped. First, I'm just glad we got through that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Well, do we go onward? Or. Because I think the faster we get this done, the better.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you.
We heard barking earlier, right? It can't be too far.
Yeah, I mean, it did sound close. Okay.
Then we follow the bark.
Okay. That's at least get back to the village then. Get the dog. Get back.
At this point, Bula will once again extend her hand to Amaros, for him to take if he wants it, before they will continue trudging forward.
Ambrose is gonna take a deep breath and then say, I think I'm good now. Maybe offer it to Galatea. I think she can need some extra support in here more than me at this point.
She will give him a good tap on the shoulder and be like, "Good point," and then just offer it to Galatea.
Yeah, the tear looks so incredibly uncomfortable.
We, as a player, actually forgot that Galatea is not the greatest with personal space. Or
No,
as
it's
in
so
others
bad.
touching her personal space.
I think I'm okay, but thank you. Thank you.
And she'll once again, okay then, and she'll give her a good pat on the shoulder instead, just a quick one, and then she will literally just take off going forwards.
Oh, Galatea just like winces, but like sort of awkwardly smiles.
Tisvam will follow or walk beside Bula, but will pull out his glaive, as he did when we were traveling towards the village, to feel for more mud out and about around us.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, you can use your glaive to do those things. The mud that you saw earlier had you been walking casually, you probably would have seen it. It was only really because you were running that you went into it. But you can certainly, use your glaive to just check, make sure the path ahead is solid. So as you step out from this sort of tunnel that you're currently in, you notice that it begins to sort of widen. It's about 15 foot across, and tunnels head off in different directions. Going back, if you could work out the sort of the direction you were going for. In fact, let's have a survival check. Let's see if you can determine which way is north, south, east, west, because you've been in here and running around for a little bit. You've had a bit of stress from these from the mud. Let's see if you can tell which way is up and which way is down. So anyone who wants to, they can make a survival check. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, got a Bula with a 9. You know that you are in some kind of tunnel. Amros with a 3.
Blind.
3, you not sure which way is up or down. Galatea very similar. Now Kane and Tisvan. Oh, and Moira. Yep, you're unsure as well. Tisvan and Kane though, 14 apiece. Yeah, you know basically which way. You've been keeping an eye. Tisvan, you've been kind of leading for most of it. So you've got a better idea of which direction you're going in. Kane, you've been sort of either at the rear or you've been kind of keeping yourself a bit more calm than the others have been as you've been going through. So your level-headedness has sort of kept you abreast of which direction you're kind of walking in. So you know that carrying on I'll just put a little ping here. This direction is definitely south. That's direction towards where you originally came in. The tunnel that seems to be heading north of that gets very narrow. It's about 5 foot across, and it sort of heads up off into the sort of the darkness. Looking back down south, there is a tunnel about sort of as wide as you have been coming along before, and that heads off to the east and west, about 10 foot wide. Still very thick with briar and the dirt on the floor is all very similar to how what you've been dealing with currently. But you're now sort of left with these 3 different directions that you could possibly go down.
Can we check for like tracks or anything?
You can indeed, yeah. If you want to give me a survival roll to see if you can find some tracks on the ground.
I hope this one goes better. No.
12? Yeah, so where you're looking at the moment, you can see the ground in here is dirt and a mix of mud, and it's kind of a bit churned up. It's not obviously creatures or something have been going up and down in the tunnels, walking around, and so there are definitely imprints here because the tunnel of the Briar is basically closed at the top. Obviously no wind or rain has come in here, and so nothing has been disturbed, but the ground itself seems to be fairly well trodden. There are definitely paw prints here. There are marks, there are grooves, definitely various sort of creatures have been walking across here. Possibly dog prints and other animals. You're not quite sure, but there's definitely markings of creatures that have walked this way. Anybody else would like to do something? Oh, Amoros, thank you very much. Now that you stepped out into that tunnel, you look down the tunnel going both east and west. You can see that it disappears off. Now, have you been continuously having did you have your light spell up, your orbs?
I was about to say I wanted to send one orb into that tunnel to get a better look.
You can certainly do that. Yeah, that's no problem at all. So you're going to send an orb?
I have a feeling I did something bad right now.
Are you going to send an orb that way?
It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's in his character to look ahead. So yeah, he will send an orb down this area.
Awesome. So as you send that, excuse me, as you send that orb off to the east, the passageway continues and towards the about was it 5, 10, about 40 or so feet down in this area, you can see that there's a tunnel that continues going north in a direction, but you can't see around the corner there, but it seems to head up to the north. And there seems to be a tunnel continuing a little bit further down to the east, but you can just make out there's a sort of not a reflection, but there's the light sort of bounces off what looks like strands of fine silk or webbing start to appear, and you can just sort of glint and glimmer. But unfortunately, as you're contemplating that, from behind you, you in the western direction, you hear a blood-curdling as a giant boar comes hurling towards you. Can we roll for initiative, please?
Squidger, what's a boar doing in here?
Discord cut the scream off.
Oh, did it? I'm sorry. It was something like that, but louder.
Wow. My rolls aren't so bad today.
I still can't roll initiative.
That's all right. I'll click the button for you. A
It's just
6. Oh, no.
Oh,
25. Nice. Sorry, Maria?
Is it the utility roll initiative?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, did you roll with advantage, Maria?
No?
Or did you? Oh, that was somebody else's dice. Sorry, that's all right. No, it looked like 2 rolled out at the same time. Okay,
Yeah, the
perfect.
boar and Galatea was... No, boar and more. I was out at the same time.
Ah, right, okay. So, yes, you hear from down the corridor behind you as you're looking in the direction of your lights, this awful squeal, and charging down the corridor behind you towards you, a giant boar. The rest of you looking in that direction will just see initially these 2 little red beady lights of eyes in the distance, coming closer and closer with every moment. So, as this is a surprise, unfortunately, my little piggy gets to move first before we start the initiative roll. So it is going to make a charge attack towards you, Amoros. Let's see, it can make first, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, 30. So yeah, it's going to barrel basically straight into you, unfortunately, running full tilt. It puts its head down, its giant tusks leading up towards you in this sickly green... that's right, yeah, let me describe the boar to you, because it's slightly different than what you might think.
What? It's not Pumbaa?
Not quite, no.
It's always Pumbaa.
So yes, oh, I'm sorry, my description here is different. It has tiny yellow beady eyes. And as it comes out of the darkness towards you, Amros, perhaps you turning sort of as you hear this noise before you, behind you, coming closer. As you turn and look, there's these tiny beady glowing eyes of yellow come out of the darkness, and the body of this giant creature has a thick mass of green fur, or almost like blades of grass. It's all sort of tousled and like matted together, and it almost has a mohawk of hair of grass running along the top of its body. It's got two thick tusks with barbs protruding out of them from its face, and its snout you can see glistening with sort of slobber and that. It lets out this horrible deep squeal and comes charging, barreling towards you as fast as it can. Yes, that picture is exactly what you see, Ross. Almost, yeah. If you think about, has any of you seen Princess Mononoke? And the beginning of the film where you have the boar there, it's very similar to how it would be barreling down there. So this thing comes barreling and charging towards you, Amaros. And let me make it. Why is it not allowing me to roll? Is it? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. So I've been clicking it too many times. Okay. So it's moved at least 20 feet towards a single target. It has tusk attack. The target will take an extra 7 or 2d6 slashing damage. Let's see if it will. Hang on. Does it not get a? Do you not have to roll for it? Is it just a damage?
Oh,
then it says to then hit, but it's not giving me the hit. It's only giving me the damage roll.
It says if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a.
I should read further down the page. Can you make me a strength savings? Oh no, that's for the not prone bit. It still has to hit though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it says if the ball moves at least 20 feet in a straight line towards the target and then hits it with a tusk attack, so I need to do a tusk attack on you. That's why we didn't get the attack one. Okay, so let me do a tusk attack to see if we even hit you in the first place. 23. Yeah, okay. All right, so we do that one. So first of all, we'll roll. I guess I need to do the damage on the charge one afterwards, because I think that's going to roll the 2d6 for us. So we add that on. Target takes an extra, yeah. All right, so let's do the damage from the tusk attack to begin with. Ooh, that's 19
and Amros
points.
is down.
Okay.
That was another attack roll, not damage.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think I think I made a mistake there. It's this button I need to click. I was like, hang on, how can that possibly see so high? Let's try that again. There we go. Snake eyes. 5 points of damage. That's more reasonable.
Just 1/3 of my health.
Yeah. But I'm afraid I do have to also
Not me,
roll.
just like sighing in relief.
No, I still do have to do the charge damage on top of that. So let me just add that as well. What a 1 and 6, so not too bad. So another 7. So that's 12 points of goring damage as this giant ball barrels down, sending you flying. And now I'd like you to make me a strength saving throw to see if you get knocked prone.
I'm just trying to find how it's attributes and strength, right?
Yep.
No. So
Figured that would happen.
So yeah, unfortunately, Amros, this creature comes barreling down out of the darkness towards you. As you turn around, the creature just slams into you full power. You get flipped up and gored by these tusks that flip you over the top of it, and you end up prone in a heap on the floor.
I just want to point out that it's quite fitting that Amros decided to see the positive side of this, and immediately gets something to grab on.
You just happen to be looking the wrong way. Otherwise, you would have seen this thing coming. But unfortunately, yes, that's the way things go. Now we can begin combat. And at the top of the list, Galatea.
Yay!
You've just seen a giant piggy come and barrel over Amros and slam him to the ground.
Can I switch with Bula? Why is it always me? Fuck. Can I even get
You can hold
out
action.
of there?
What's that, sorry?
Can I even get out of there? Can I move?
Yeah, you can move through your comrade's space. That's fine, yeah.
Okay. I'm so scared of this place. Can I try my fancy new ray of frost on this creature?
Yeah, you can. Oh, sorry, I paused the game. Sorry, move where you'd like to.
I just want to be like I can't. Can I shoot?
You can't
over?
occupy the same place.
No, no. Can I shoot from behind people?
You can. I'll say there's enough space for you to shoot through there. If you were a little bit further back, you wouldn't have the angle on it. But seeing as the pig is here, I'll say that you can tell your friends to sort of move slightly to one side, and you can shoot through.
Okay, I'll just go duck and shoot my new fancy thing that Amaros taught me.
Go for it.
Feels fitting that
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, an 8 does not fuzz. You fire off your ray of frost, which impacts on the side of this creature, but you just see the sort of frosty nature of it just against the grass hide of this beast, and it dissipates.
Okay.
Do you have a bonus action?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna stand there indecisively. Like,
No worries. So this is kind of like more of a reactionary, like, oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. Shoot the thing that I just did.
No worries. Okay, we move on to Moira. What would you like to do?
Okay. At the sight of the pig, I scream a little bit. Ah! And then I. It's a pig. I am gonna throw a sacred flame at it.
Go for it. Yep. I have to make a saving throw. Dexterity. See how dexterous this little piggy is. 9. Not very.
This little pig fell down.
This little piggy
It's a fail.
is a fail. Perfect.
I say, as I cast the spell, "O flame gathering in the heavens, inflict terror upon my enemies."
Nice.
And I think we said before, this sort of misty sort of beam, it's much more faint than you remember it or you think it should be when it comes through. Having to break through and find a way into this briar or through the briar to get to the pig itself. But they do make it through, and although not as bright and powerful as you would imagine, it still does damage to this pig. And you do 8 points. Very good.
Maximum 8 points.
Yay! Okay, so yeah, this thing comes into the side of this creature and it starts burning this sort of grass. You can see it sort of ignite from this sacred flame that sort of burns it on the side, and it does squeal and roar back away from Amaris as the flames sort of lick at it. Can you anything else you'd like to do?
I do not think I can. No.
Okay. Would you like to move, or are you happy where you are?
Currently, I am happy where I am. I will stay put.
Perfect. All right. Next up, it's the piggy again. This little piggy. So the little piggy is going to. Now let me think. He can't really squeeze past Amaros because there isn't a lot of space. You know what? I'm going to say that it can go here because I think it can squeeze into that where that briar is, and it wouldn't mind brushing up against these briars. It's probably used to it anyway, just so it can get in close approximation to Tisfan here. And Tisfan, it is going to try and gore you. Let's see if it can do that. No, a 9. That's probably not going to hit you, I would imagine.
Nope.
Perfect. So it it barrels into Amros, throws him to the floor. Looks like he's probably dead. So the creature looks to its side, sees a group of other creatures in there. You, as you've already said, brandishing your very long what's it called?
Blade.
Your blade glaive that you got as well. And seeing this as a challenge, tries to gore you, but completely whiffs it. Perfect. That is all it can do. So we're on to the next. Tiswin, you can now respond.
I do the usual. I try to slice it with my glaive.
Slice it. Oh,
Ooh.
only a 10. Unfortunately, the thick hide of this creature is a little bit tougher than you expect, and your blade does run against the side of the creature, but you don't get any penetration through its hide.
All right, then that's my turn.
It's your turn. Okie dokie. Did you want to move? You could move a little bit if you wanted to, because you're still within its range. You won't get any attacks of opportunity. It's up to you.
Then I'll go up by Amaros.
Okay, perfect. All right, Kane.
So Kane was going to attempt a more friendly approach with maybe an animal handling, and I think maybe he's going to try and use animal handling, possibly, but in a different way. Now that this thing has been flamed and frosted, and almost frosted.
Okay, yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be stupid like Kane normally is, and I'm going to, if I can reach that space, risk an attack of opportunity to try and go somewhere.
Okay.
What's the button to bend your ruler on Foundry?
Oh, it might be Shift or Control, maybe. Not on the right tool. Hang on a second.
I think I.
Is it space? I can't remember, to be honest. I've forgotten which one it is.
For measuring it twice.
Yeah, I can't get it to work on my end here. I did know, but they've updated the program, so I'm not sure if it's the same. I think it was a mod that I had to do that. That's fine. Yeah, where you are, you wouldn't get an attack of opportunity from there.
Well, either way, I want to go there and I want to go there and take the attack of opportunity, but that's not as far as I want to go. I want to go further. I think I've got just enough movement with 30 feet.
Mm. Oh, you're going past it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. So I wanna run there if I can. Risk
Yeah.
the attack.
That you're still within its range, so you're okay there.
I wasn't in its range before though. Is that okay? If I moved into combat and then around it?
That's fine. It's only when you leave the range. So moving into it, and as long as you're still within its range, that's fine. It's only if you were to go past and then carry on going from that point.
Fantastic. Yeah, I want to stop there. Hopefully, give our resident killing machine Tisvan the advantage with the flanking.
Oh yes.
And I will use a skill that I'm sure you will decide. I'm trying to attract the attention of this boar. I do not want it to go for the easy target of Amaros on the floor. I want it to go for me.
Okay. All right. And how are you doing that? What skill are you going to use?
I'll use my action to, whatever you deem appropriate. Intimidation, animal handling.
Yeah. Well, so if you're going to intimidate it, what are you going to shout out? Or if you want to try and calm it, you could use animal handling.
I think it's beyond being calmed. He just got literally singed like a roast boar.
Sure. Okay. So you want to taunt it, basically. You're like, come and look at me, piggy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bash my quarterstaff against my shield, which is still, emitting bright light, and I'll just simply say like, "Come for me. I'm away from the group."
Okay. Cool. So let's say let's say it's an intimidation. Then. I was going to look at say. Actually, let me have a look at your character sheet a second.
Stab the boy in the bum. Stab it in the bum.
Yeah, intimidation. Let's go for that.
Okay.
Anyone would be pissed off being stabbed in the bum.
Oh.
Okay, that's an 8. So you run around the side, and what do you say?
I'm basically telling it I'm a lone target. I'm easy pickings.
Okay, so you run around it and you're like, oh, look at me, and waving the stick at your staff around, going, look at hey. The boar doesn't seem to, or perhaps its focus is just on Tisfan, the person holding the stick with the blade on the end rather than the stick without. But it decides that it's going to keep its focus on Tisfan currently, and is not swayed by your commotion behind it.
At least Tisman has the advantage now. I'll take it.
Yeah. Perfect. Anything else?
Sure. I haven't used my bonus action. I'll cast Shillelagh.
Okay, so your magical essence goes into your staff and it begins to do. Does it glow, or I thought you said it was subtle, wasn't it? That you said last time.
What?
My staff and my shield are both now glowing blue.
Ah, perfect.
What? What are you?
What am I?
He's a magic man.
I'm a magic man who also hits things and does the healing.
But okay.
Perfect. So we move on to Bula. Grey Bula. Grey Hulk.
You beat me to the punchline with Grey Hulk.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry.
I feel particularly offended because I don't think she has her glaive out, and this has become her thing now.
Well, if you've got your weapon is equipped, then you've got it with you. Unless you've specifically said I've packed it away and it's out of thing. I think after all the things you've been through, your main weapon is always like you can grab it.
Okay. That makes me feel less bad about She-Hulk then, because with that being the case, she will run up and use her glaive to stab it.
Perfect. Now, just in case you've forgotten, you can attack with your glaive from 5 feet away because it's got the reach. So it's up to you if you want to go up to it and do it at close range or not. It's totally up to you.
Oh, she's doing close range to try and distract it from Tisfan and Kane because she's not letting either of them get attacked.
Perfect. All right, then make me an attack roll, please.
With advantage?
With advantage, yes, because you have Kane behind. Not that you can see him behind this giant piggy, but he is there somewhere behind. Oh, 23. Very nice.
Yay!
Give us some damage roll. See how much you can slice off this piggy.
Oh, I'll take that.
Oh, nice. 12 points of damage. All right, let me just click off of Kane before I give him 12 points of damage. Right, there we go. All right, yes, now you slice your glaive down into this pig and you rip a big cut down the side of its flesh. The giant boar reels back, screaming, turning its attention towards you, and you can see that it's starting to get very blooded. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, I think she's just gonna stab it and leave it at that.
All right. So we now return to Amoros on the floor, currently prone. What would you like to do?
Well, most likely cough a bit of blood considering how much damage you fucking took. And I think it's a bad idea, but logic would dictate that he would try to get up and try to get away from this thing that just rammed him into the ground.
Okay, so you stand up, and then you're going to move out of its range?
I know it's an attack of opportunity, but it's the most logical thing that would make sense to him.
You could spend your action if you haven't used it yet to disengage.
Yep.
If you want to.
disengage. I don't want to get hit again.
Okay, so yeah, so you use your disengage. That uses your action. So, but you can do that to step away without having to take an attack opportunity.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't trust whatever is down that tunnel behind.
I was gonna say
Part of
he
me
barrels
thought,
off into
am I
the
gonna try to
darkness.
do a matter on trying to get him to run into whatever is down there, but no, I'm mostly gonna die trying. So I'm gonna move back up to the rest of the casters in hopes that he doesn't attack us.
Yeah.
There's two freaking blade bastards in the way. Sorry. Poor choice of word, but
Perfect. Yeah, so you
Accurate choice
get
of
up
words.
or you crawl away on your hands and knees while the rest of everything else is happening, and you manage to make your way out of its range and crawl back over to Moni and Galatea. Do you have
I don't have any bonus actions.
No
So
bonus?
That's my turn.
Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so top of the round we have Galatea. Is Galatea back?
Yeah.
You are perfect. Galatea, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Right, Galatea is pissed off now. After the initial shock. Like, right. Amoros, how is he looking?
He's looking pretty badly damaged from the goring he took.
Wasn't it? How much damage did it do?
Well, because it charged
12
him.
points. I have a total of 4 points of health left.
Yeah. Because it charged him, it did a lot more than it would do with a normal attack.
Right, I want to do two things. But most importantly, I'm gonna fish a little thing out of my bag.
Mm.
Let me it's like a little tiny vial, I guess, of liquid.
Mm.
And I'm gonna hand it to Amaras and say, drink this. And then just, damn it, this will have to work. And then try and do the Ray of Frost again, if I can do both.
Yeah, I'll allow you to give him, because you're just passing him that vial anyway.
Yeah.
So he would have to use it on his turn. But if you're just gonna, unless you want to tip it down directly into his mouth.
No, give it.
Okay, so you pass that to him, and then you're going to do another Ray of Frost. Yep, perfect. Go for it.
I sort of don't want to tell you what it is until you drink it. So that depends if you trust me or not. Because we don't have time for explanations.
Oh, nice. 21 to hit.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, roll me for some damage.
Ooh,
Oh, nice. Not bad. Yeah, another 6. So perfect. So you unleash... Sorry? You unleash your frosty powers and slam, this time with the wound that Bula has opened up in this side thing. You aim and this frost just goes in, slamming into this already open wound, causing this the cold, which got basically obliterated on the surface of the skin, now going deep within, penetrating the skin of this creature. And yeah, you see almost the blood sort of crystallize for a moment before continuing to pour out of this creature as it sort of limps round, heavily bleeding now.
cool.
Lovely.
Finally.
Okay.
I want to go home.
Very good. All right, Moira, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
For the sake of switching things up a little bit and keeping things interesting. That's 10 feet, yes. I'm gonna do poison spray.
poison spray. Okay.
Is it Constitution saving throw? He actually. Or what?
So sorry, you're gonna do a poison spray towards the creature. Okay. Constitution saving throw. Let's have a little look. What can it do?
It might have a good Constitution, but you
It
never know.
is a big piggy. 15.
Oh, that is a success.
That's it. So you send this ball of poisonous spray towards it, but the sheer size of this creature, it sort of breathes it in, but it doesn't seem to have enough potency to really affect this creature, and it kind of snorts and gets rid of it. Anything else?
He doesn't take half damage, right?
No, it's only a cantrip, so it'd only be with a
Yeah,
first
okay.
level spell.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do?
Oh, dang it! I messed up the spell. I messed up the wording. Dang it!
No worries. Right. Okay, it is now the Piggy's turn again. Now, I don't think it has disadvantage being surrounded, does it, Kane? I think it just has a normal attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. He doesn't have disadvantage imposed.
Okay. Well, seeing as Bula was the one that opened its side up, I think it's probably going to be you that it attacks, I'm afraid. So let's have a look. But seeing as it's penned in, it can't charge or anything, so it is just going to try and gore you with its tusk. Does a 12 hit you?
That is a great question. Let's find out. No, it does not.
It does not. So
Ah!
this creature that came in very strongly, now surrounded on all sides, is trying to spin its head round and try and gore you. But now its focus is split three ways, and it doesn't know where to go, and it blindly swings its head, trying to spear you. But its tusk just glances off of your armor. Yeah, that's all it can do, unfortunately. Tisfan.
Hello.
Tis your go. What would you like to do?
I shall try to take a slice out of this little piggy.
Okay, and you can do so with advantage.
Ooh.
Oh, 2 11s. 16. That does hit its armor class, yes.
Whoop.
Or beat its armor class, I should say. 7 points of slashing. Very good. Yes, this you slice into the side of this pig, opening up the wound even further. It bleeds more and more, squealing out, backing up, trying to find a way to get away from you now, but unable to move in its current position. Yes, it looks pretty bad off. Still hanging on, though.
Seeing it try to find a way to escape, Tisman would just say, "You're not going anywhere."
Excellent. Any bonus actions?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, we move on to Kane.
Can I? Because I only want to do one thing, and
Mhm.
that's try to smack it with my quarterstaff, like
Yeah.
I've been prompted to. Can I hold my action?
Yes. For what? For what's the situation?
After Bula has attacked.
Okay, so after Bula's attack, you want to see? Yeah, you can do that. Yep.
I don't want to attack it and risk it finding some kind of way to get away when I know that she can do so much more damage.
Okay, so once Bula has landed their attack, you'll then attack
hit
as well.
or miss,
Yeah.
I will then attack. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, no worries. All right, so we will jump to Bula. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go back in with that glove.
Okay, yep, go for it. Make another attack, another swing. Between you and Tisfan, you're really slicing this thing up now.
Heck yeah. Is it with advantage still?
Yes.
Cool.
Because of flanking. Yes, 24. Yes, that definitely hits. Make me a damage roll. Let's see how much damage you can do to this piggy. Oh, that's a shame. 4 points. But still 4 points, so that's good. Yep, you take another slice at it. It does move at the last minute, and your blade doesn't quite go into it as deeply as it was before, but it's definitely near the end of its life. It's squiggling. It is looking around, trying to find a way out between you all, but doesn't quite have the wiggle room, being such a large creature. Okay, so did you have a bonus action you wanted to use?
No, I'm gonna keep it at that.
Perfect. All right. So after that attack, it's back to Kane again. Then, so your held action goes off now, and you can now try and batter this piggy from behind.
Okay.
Oh, unfortunately, you swing even with the magical enchantment now permeating the staff that you have. Being at the back, the rump of this beast, which is undamaged currently, seems to be very, very heavy going, and your staff just bong, slams on the back of this piggy's butt.
Most things in the mortal plane actually hurt when they get hit by a big stick, but it doesn't seem to be the case here.
Yeah, unfortunately not. This pig is probably the biggest pig you've ever seen in your life. So yeah, it unfortunately does not come off. Sadly,
It has a surprisingly sturdy booty.
yes, it does. So we finally come to Amoros. You have been handed a small vial from Galatea.
With that, I actually have to ask one question, Faye. Does drinking the vial cost an action or a bonus action?
I'll say it's a bonus action.
Okay, I was gonna drink it either way, but it's good to know for planning reasons.
Yeah,
I chug it.
I think
I trust Galatea enough for this.
I think if you're going to drink a potion yourself during combat, this is just like a house rule. But if you're going to drink a potion yourself that you've got, you can do that as a bonus action. If you're going to give it to someone else or pour it into someone else's mouth, that will be an action. Because like say if they're down, you have to physically lay them down, put it in, make sure they don't choke while they're swallowing it. So Galatea passing it to you is a bonus action because she's just literally giving it to you, and you taking it, you're just swallowing it. So it'll just be a bonus.
That's a good comment too, considering that also means that you don't have to rummage through your bag looking for the potion extending the action itself.
Yeah, I'll say that if you have healing potions, you're probably going to want to have them to hand. So they'll probably be on a belt or somewhere very close. They won't be like at the bottom of your backpack because you'd need them more often than say if it was a pillow or something that you need for bed. That's probably stuffed at the bottom because you're not going to need to have that out very quickly, are you? But yes, so you down the potion?
Yes.
Perfect.
Cool.
So when you drink it, what's Amoros's favourite beverage?
You know what it is. Cool.
I would say Amor's favorite beverage is actually hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Interesting. So when you throw this little potion down your throat, immediately, although it doesn't look like it, it does smell like it now that you're drinking it. You get that sort of sense as it goes down your throat. But this liquid tastes like the best hot chocolate you've ever had. It's luxurious. It's the chocolatey flavor to it. It's just, as soon as you start drinking it, you're just like, oh my god, this is so. It even is like hot. Like it didn't feel like it was in the vial, but it just has that essence to it, and it tastes like just gloriously rich flavored hot chocolate that you've ever had in your life.
Amoros can't help but to, even through the pain in his body right now, go, just a bit of just internal moaning or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Now, let me just have a read, because there's a big block of text here that I just have to quickly have a look at.
Oh boy, it actually had an effect.
Yeah.
So, as soon as you drink
Feel
it,
really good now.
yeah, as soon as you drink it, you're like, oh wow, this amazing hot chocolate. Obviously you're heavily wounded and you have this pain, but it seems to just sort of almost like be inconsequential. You start to have this almost euphoric feeling that just permeates your body. You feel like at ease. You're just really happy. The pain that you felt just seems to go. You can see that you're bleeding. You can see that you're damaged. Your body is cut, but you just don't feel it anymore. And everything around you is almost like, like they say, seeing through rose-tinted glasses. That's how you feel at the moment. Everything, you're in this horrible place. You didn't really like being in here. There are thorns and briars around you. There's a giant pig bleeding out of there. But it feels like one of the best days of your life. You just like, it's amazing. It's good to be alive.
God damn, what the fuck did you hand me?
Unfortunately, you currently have the poisoned condition, though, I'm afraid.
I say it again. God damn, what the fuck did you hand
So
me?
you currently have disadvantages on attack rolls and ability checks for the next
what?
hour. For the next hour, that is.
I forgot about that. Still worth it.
But you're also immune to fear currently.
I have no idea how to feel about this.
So you've got this euphoric kind of heady sort of feeling. You are poisoned, which means you have disadvantage on both attacks and abilities, but you are also immune to fear. So you're basically super happy, don't care about anything going on, have no sense of fear about anything going on around you. You were just feeling like you're living your best life. That was some hot chocolate you just drank.
Some good stuff.
Would you like to do anything as your action?
I gotta say, this is the first time I appear to have had spiced hot chocolate. Okay. With that description, acting somewhat in a drunken manner,
Yeah.
I guess is the way to describe this.
Yeah, it's probably good, yeah.
Might be completely unnecessary with the current setup, but he's still gonna freaking cast Fairy Fire on this big boar bastard.
Okay, right, Fairy Fire. So I think that's a roll I have to make, isn't it? Saving throw. Dexterity.
Apparently there's nowhere I can put this without either catching Kane, Tisven, or Bulla, or all together.
So everyone needs to make a dexterity saving throw or be highlighted, essentially.
That or just Kane, pretty much.
You can't pick people that it doesn't hit. So everyone in the 20-foot cube centered on that thing. So then, yeah.
Oh no, it's
10.
not centered on the thing. I can choose where I place it. I just want to have it in the area, but technically then Kane would actually be the center of it.
Yeah, so each object in a 20-foot cube. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, I mean, you can choose. You can either just get Kane or you can get Bula and Tisven and the Big. It's up to you which way you place it. But if you minimum damage, probably just Kane.
Yeah, logic would dictate that I try to do minimum damage. I'm seeing how much damage this thing, me as a player, would not want to do extra. Give it a bigger chance to do more damage to my friends.
No problem. Well, the giant boar rolled a 16, so it does make its saving throw, I'm afraid.
If he expresses this, if he's kind of shouting at the group, where should I place this spell? Kane will volunteer.
Okay.
He'd rather one person get affected by it than two.
Perfect. Well, the beast itself manages to deflect this thing, but could you make me a dexterity check to see if you do?
My best stat.
That's a 5. So, what color does Kane illuminate?
Well, the funny thing is, his weapon and shield was already blue. Now he is full blue.
So, anyone looking at Kane now will see this blue shimmery halo appear, not only around the staff and the shield, but around his entire body.
Congratulations, Kane. You're now Smurf.
And now any attack roll against you has advantage. So thank you very much for that, Amros.
This did not go according to plan.
I don't think it's going to matter, to be honest. There's the piggy's not down, not for a couple of rounds yet. So Galatea, having seen Amros down this potion that you handed them, and the piggy still squealing and moving around, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just keep throwing these ray of frosts at them. I think I'll move closer now because I'm angry.
Okay.
So I'll squeeze in between.
I think you'll be at disadvantage if you move that close, though, because it's a ranged spell.
Oh, it's a ranged spell. Well, can I move here?
Yeah, that'll be all right.
It's still closer. Cool. I will do that.
Do it.
Attack. 19.
Oh, 22. Yes, that definitely hits. Do some frosty damage, please.
Aw, 2.
2. Oh. So, yeah, you step forward and you blast this cold out towards the piggy. It does, again, hit and do damage, but the piggy's just slightly just holding on to its life just that little bit more. So was I on the right person? I think I might have taken life off of somebody else. Moira, did I just take life off of you? I don't know who I was clicking.
No, I was at 18. Before.
You were 18 anyway. Did I take life off of somebody else? Maybe I did take it off the right one. I thought I might have been clicked on somebody else, but no, I think I've done the right thing. Okay. Yes, so this frost blast hits into the creature, but yeah, it doesn't seem to do as much. I think with the pigs, just its panic that it's currently in at the moment, and it's sort of wheeling round. The bolt doesn't hit true. It kind of glances off the side of it, still doing some damage, but not quite enough to put it down, and it still jumps around trying to either attack or trying to find a gap where it can get away. Okay, Moira.
Moira is wondering whether or not she should be more concerned about suddenly drunken Amaros.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to be drunk. He just seems to be very happy. Where he may have been like holding his arm or leg or anything that was like gored before, he doesn't seem to be bothered by it. He seems like in perfect health and smiling and happy, and yeah, just it doesn't seem to be in any pain whatsoever, even though you could probably see that he's bleeding.
Yeah, the sight of a bleeding out happy Amaros is weird.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how you slice that, it's a complete 180 of the personality he's currently experienced in here.
Exactly.
Hey, I gave it to the right person.
But we are gonna be sticking with where the hell is it? The sacred flame. Oh, flame gathering in the heavens, inflict terror upon my enemies.
Go for it.
What
Oh, sorry, it's me. Sorry, I've forgotten it. Yeah, that's right. It's alright, I forgot it.
Sorry, I was looking at the what saving throw. I was like, where is it?
Oh, that's an 18.
Oh,
So
gosh, darn
it does manage to, as it's wheeling around again, very similar to how Galatea's frostbolt blasts off the side of it. While it's in this panic state and wheeling around, your target is moving too quickly, and the glancing blow of this sacred flame just misses the creature, unfortunately.
Moira is like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? No, book. Is my pronunciation?
You can see it going off the magic. It just missed in this turn. This turn. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nah, I'm good.
You're good. Okay. Then we move back to the giant boar. It is going to. let's see. It's going to try and make an attack against. Well, yeah, Bula is probably the one that actually did. Kane, sorry, Tisfin, did you do any damage on your turn? I can't remember.
Yes, I
You
did.
You did. Okay, yeah. So I will say it's probably go for you this time because you're the last person to land a hit on it in the things in the creatures in the closest range. So it is going to try and make a tusk attack against you. And it gets a 10 and a miss. And it squeals and it's panicked and it's just lashing out in panic, not thinking that these smaller creatures were going to be able to do any damage to it. And in this panic, it's just missing, swinging wildly. Which means Tisfin, it is your turn.
Time to slice and dice.
Slice and dice. Remember, you have advantage. Yay, 19. That is definitely a hit. Let's roll for some damage.
Kill it.
12 points of damage. And with that, Tisfin, how do you slice and put this giant boar out of its misery?
With the attack from the boar towards him, he would dodge to the side, then quickly use his glaive to slice against the throat.
And dragging that glaive along the throat of the creature, you hear its final squeals and the disorientation of its body as it's trying to go back. You see its eyes, the light just flicker out, and this giant pig just slams into the ground and stops moving. And we are now out of initiative. Congratulations. Of combat, sorry, not initiative.
This might be the first time I've felt like I've made any difference.
Tisfin will just silently use the side of the boar to wipe off the blood on his glaive.
Bula will watch him and then be like, "So, who wants pig tonight?"
Sounds
I
good.
would.
You've got a lot of bacon there. If you want, you can. If you want, you can spend some time slicing some, trying to slice some meat and trying to keep some for rations if you want.
Ask if I was allowed to do that because I would like to slice and dice.
You can indeed, yeah. If you want to spend a bit of time trying to do that.
Knowing that, how long would it roughly take?
So let's say it will take a little while to do because you've got to get through the hide of this thing. You have made a slice in it, so it is opened up. But it depends on how much you take. So let's have a little look at your abilities. What do you say on here?
Free help?
Yeah, you can give Bula some advantage if you want to help out. Let's say. Let's say we'll give you a survival roll because I think that's the most likely to be what we use in this situation. Carving up some meat to be able to harvest that, knowing which parts of the boar are the pieces that you want to keep and the bits that you want to throw away. So give me a survival roll and we'll see
Cool.
how much you
Am I
get there.
doing that normal or with advantage since Galati has offered?
With advantage.
Okay. Yes,
10.
still
So
fun.
yeah, you do get some. We'll say you have probably enough for. We'll say you probably can get about 3 rations from it. Although this pig is very large, the majority of it, as you're slicing it, seems to be a mix of fat and muscle. Not the kind of meat you want. The tender meat that you want to get off the belly and stuff. That you're able to get to, but it's an awful lot of work. You spend, maybe half an hour trying to get to it. You can continue and spend another, say, half an hour or so trying to get more if you want. But from that, you get about 3 days worth of rations out of it.
Okay. Well, she will look to everyone else with the rations she's got and be like, "I've got about 3 people's worth. I could go on for longer, but it's up to you."
I just want a bite of it.
While this is going on for a
Hmm.
half hour, has anyone got any like tears in their clothing or their armor or any of their weapons been chipped or any some such like that?
That's such a cute question. In what condition is actually the Amros gear after that being goring?
I mean, I think you might be. You don't wear armor as such, do you? Or you've got what have you got? Leather armor or
I mean, I
something?
have leather armor,
Yeah.
but I don't think that will hold too
There-
much
I-
against the boar tusk.
Yeah, I would say that you probably have got some damage to it, seeing as the boar did charge and then ram its tusk into you, and you took an awful lot of damage. So I'd probably say you've got some like a puncture wounds where it's gone through the leather. You are still bleeding currently as well, but you wouldn't know. You can't feel it.
Okay, cool. Kane will hand out some free mending. I believe it only takes a minute, so I could do it 30 times on various pieces of clothing and equipment, just to knit them back up.
Yeah.
While he's doing this, he'll turn to the group and say to them as he sees the meat being butchered, this could be really useful for attracting that lost dog. I imagine the compelling nature of fresh boar meat would probably be a good persuader in getting him to come with us.
Actually, Bula, could you make me a perception check, please?
I sure can.
$16. Cool. So while you are carving up the belly of this pig, that half an hour, you do notice now that you're closer to it, and it was kind of hidden when the creature was sort of writhing around and trying to attack you, because just of the scale of it and because of the folds of fat or muscle around it, this it was probably not visible. But now that it's sort of laying on the ground on its side, and you sort of turned it over, you notice that the boar has this collar, tarnished collar, sort of around its neck.
Oh no.
Does she know what color it is?
It's like a metal. It's like tarnished metal.
Okay, that's good. All of the oh no's go away immediately. And they're replaced with new oh no's. But
It has a little tag hanging from the front of it.
ooh, okay, that is helpful. Can she read the tag? Is the question though.
You can, yeah. It is a bit tarnished and
Yeah.
scratched, but it says Boris.
Poor Boris. We just murdered Boris.
What if Boris was the elf? Not the elf, he's not an elf. The creature. The red guy. The angry boy.
So what?
The angry boy we killed.
Red cap?
That's the one. The angry guy. I hate him.
I mean, this boar was an asshole, so no great loss, right?
They were both very angry. This world has issues.
You probably have used a bit of this drink that you gave me. I feel great. A little lightheaded, but I feel great.
Yeah, that was my last. It should take some of the pain away, though. I think you're still bleeding, though. Here. Hold still. And I'll try and bandage him up as best I can. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but I have a Helios kit, so there should be bandages.
Yeah, if you want to do like a medicine check and see if you can stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I want to try. Either way, he's going to get bandages whether they're effective or not.
Cool.
And whilst Galatea does that, if there is no objections, then Bula will take another half an hour to carve up some more meat and see what she can get.
Yep, that's fine. You can give me another roll for that. Galatea, yeah, with an 11. Yeah, you put the bandages round. You do cover over the wound. He won't get any healing or anything from it, but you at least stem the bleeding.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I wanted to do.
Yeah, Bula, you continue to like hack away at this thing, but do you have a knife or anything that you're using, or are you using your glaive?
I think I would probably have been using some of my cooking utensils because I imagine there's knives and stuff in that. I was
Yeah,
probably using something from that.
yeah. You're using
Otherwise-
a. Sorry.
Otherwise, Amros would have offered one of his daggers because he actually have 2 daggers with him.
Right. I think with the cooking utensils, you probably got something in there that you would use, like a butcher's knife that you would use to it. However, again, this beast being very tough, very very leathery skin, and mostly like muscle and fat. Again, you get a little bit. You maybe get another couple of days of worth of rations out of it. But there isn't a lot here that you would want to eat. You've probably gathered as much as you're going to get without spending another hour or so really trying to get the little pieces to gather it enough together to make any proper meat. But you've got between the hour that you spent, you've got about 5 rations of bacon.
Yeah, she's pretty happy with that, to be fair. That's a good amount of bacon.
And at the point where you were like doing that, you did actually have to the points where you were going, you did have to kind of cut or break away the collar from the pig to get to it because it was sort of softer under the belly side of the neck. So you sort of there's just a simple latch and the collar comes off.
Cool.
Amaros, after this hour, sorry, I'll come back to you in a second, Bula. Amaros, after the hour that you've been waiting around, that feeling of euphoria slowly seems to ebb. And unfortunately, with it comes back the stinging realization of the damage that has been caused to you. And you start feeling that pain, that where you've been gored at the hole. Although bandaged now, you start feeling that pain throbbing in your side again.
I forgot it only lasted an hour.
So you get this sort of that you're now coming down from your dizzying high, and the world seems a little less bright and lovely, and the pain and the darkness and the closeness of these briar walls seems to return to you. Sorry, Buddha, what you were going to ask?
I was going to ask, when she takes the collar off, does the tag, does that come? Is that able to come off with it, or can she only take the collar off with the tag attached?
So the tag is like a dog tag. So that's the name is on the tag. It's attached to the collar.
Okay, so theoretically she could take the tag and not the whole collar.
Oh, if you want to, yeah, you could just pull the tag off.
Yeah, she is going to do that and just stash it.
Okay, so
later.
you just pull, you just bend. There's like a little metal loop around it. So you just basically find the little slit that they have in the little ring, and you just sort of bend it open and pull the tag off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
I would say that Amos might be able to have a half decent poker face, but probably the pain he's in right now would probably make his face pale. So whatever poker face he has, it's wasted.
Sorry. I know it's tight. I can't let you stand there and bleed out.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Are we good? We should keep going. This is it must have been about an hour now if he's feeling it again. So let's keep going. Which way were we going? And also, can we move quite carefully now? Because running didn't help, and just rushing forwards also didn't help. So can we sneak around?
I don't suppose you saw anything when you were near that passageway, did you, Amaros? Now that you're back with the rest of us, you seemed a little out of it there.
Sorry.
1 sec. I think I saw some strings or something. I saw it just for a moment before that big porky bastard rammed me.
That doesn't sound good at all. If we're going to try and be careful and sneaky, I should really be at the back. That's not my forte.
Okay.
Mind if I stick close to the back as well? I think it was a bad idea for me to step forward.
Which way were we going? What? There's so many passageways. I forgot where the tracks went. Where?
Well, we know where the ball came from. Let's just go that way.
Okay, but what if the ball was running from something?
If it
Well,
were,
what
I
if it
don't
was just
think it would
angry
have
from the
stopped for
light?
us.
Oh, okay.
I believe if we go the way that the ball came, we will just be going back towards the entrance, since it's in the same general direction.
Okay. I got all turned around, so I'm not sure which way we're facing now. How about where we were going north, weren't we?
Yeah, I think going the other path up north, the one that we didn't come from, might be best. Actually, Faye, can I attempt to either see tracks or listen for any more barks from the dog or anything like that?
Sure, yeah. Give me a perception check. You can do a perception if you're listening out for barks. Give me a survival if you're trying to look for tracks. Okay, so with the 16, you do hear that sort of faint, like a bark, a faint bark somewhere off in the distance, and it does seem to be coming from the north.
I believe I hear something like the barking we heard before coming from the north. So I do believe the North Passage is our goal.
Lead the way. I still don't know where north is.
For some reason, I cannot move right now.
How about now?
You should be able to. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
I'll follow.
So, as you continue going down this narrow passage, you have to all sort of go into single file as you're continuing down here. The briar walls and its thorns coming very close together, and you feels very claustrophobic. Amoros, this is probably the least favorite part of the journey so far. And the branches of the briar crowd together through this narrow passageway, leading essentially to a dead end. where they sort of congregate together, and there doesn't seem to be any way forward down this path.
And we're sneaking.
You're going stealthily, are you? Okay, then you please give me stealth checks.
Since my armor gives disadvantage on stealth, does it apply automatically, or do I have to choose disadvantage?
You would choose disadvantage when you were rolling.
Okay.
Ooh.
6.
Okay, so kind of got a split there, sort of half. So we'll say that. Oh, somebody else rolling as well. Oh, there we go. That's a 16. Okay, so we got a couple of 16, 17, 11. Yeah. So Bula and Moira, the biggest and the smallest of your group, having a bit of trouble keeping the noise down. Strangely, Moira is being reasonably noisy as you're trying to go down here. Very odd, being the smallest and lightest of you. But you do manage to go along this passageway. And although it takes you a little bit longer walking down the passage, taking your time, you do manage to go down it without seemingly to arouse any other creatures that may be lurking around. But yes, Tisman, you find that this briar comes to a sudden stop.
Let me just check my bag.
Can we see anything?
You can give me a perception check if you would like to look at the briar wall around you.
Oh. 20.
20, very nice. Yeah, so you look around in this very sort of narrow corridor, but you don't seem to notice anything. There doesn't seem to be any way through that you can see. There's definitely no like pathway that goes any deeper into the direction that you're going currently. You do see like footprints and things and marks on the floor, but of course there's lots of you in this corridor currently, so the earth is just naturally churned up at this point. But yeah, it seems to be just a dead end made of these briar and thorns.
Tisvan, remembering how the briars moved away when Galatea had a torch, will bring out one of his own torches and light it.
Yep.
Just to see what happens.
Okay, so you ignite the torch, and yes, you do see that writhing in front of you. You do see the writhing of the tendrils of this sort of briar tunnel. They do recoil away from the flame, and then you light it. Only as far as sort of where you are currently in the tunnel. There, they don't go back into the wall while you've currently got it lit in front of you. But you do see them sort of retract and as much as they can.
All right.
But what if you move forward with the torch? Do they let you?
Does Moira say that, or?
Yes.
All right. Tisvan will attempt.
Okay, so you're gonna like hold the torch out, like push it against the briar.
Very close to it, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you hold out the torch towards the briar, and it recoils as much as it can, but because it's so dense, this sort of wall, it sort of writhes around almost like imagine a sort of a tub of snakes sort of writhing over each other, trying to move away from the light or trying to move away from the heat of this torch. And they don't seem to be able to move far enough away from the light. So eventually you do move that torch out up to the surface of the briar, but it does not retract any further than it is actually physically able to. It's basically in its own way when you try and do that.
Just
When
seems-
you take the torch that close to the wall, I'll just make a quick roll here.
Oh god.
Okay, that's a 25 to hit. Does that hit you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, as you hold that torch towards the briar, having nowhere else to retract away from it, one of the briar, the sort of tendrils of briar, suddenly whips out towards you, slashing down your body, dragging its razor-sharp thorns against your side, and you take 9 points of slashing damage as the briar slices at you, trying to get rid of the source of this heat and light.
I scream out to be careful.
And then it sort of, if you move back out the way as this thing comes towards it, will retract sort of back in and writhe around until the source of the light and heat is gone, or out of its immediate vicinity.
Piece of shit. But yeah, Tisman will back off with the torch.
I'm sorry.
It just looks like a dead end.
Moira peeps from the back. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay, everyone, back out. We don't seem to be getting anywhere here.
So you start moving backwards along the corridor back into the more open area that you were in previously. The boar still sitting on the floor there. The two northern channels, the tunnels, having been explored, and some slightly wider tunnels leading both to your east and west from your current position.
Tisman will carefully walk towards the, let's see, what would that be? The more western path?
Yep.
Just to see if he sees any other paths up or anything similar.
Are we still trying to be sneaky? Because it's best time at the back normally, but you know it's.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna all continue to be sneaky?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think so.
Can
And
you
we'll
all
all
please-
just be following along.
Yep. If you want to give me all another stealth check, please, as you head down this other corridor.
No! I rolled a 1.
Yeah. Oh, it's red on the screen as well for 5.
Yeah.
That means it's very low.
Yeah, it was
Oh, but it looks
critical.
looks like everybody else though is not doing too badly. So, okay, yeah, that's not too bad. Everyone seems to be done reasonably well. So yeah,
I just trip over the ball.
yeah. So just when you're leading the party down this route, and you can see that as you continue this, as you probably suspected, this tunnel does in fact lead southward. It bends round to the south and back as far as you know toward the direction in which you come. As you get to the corner there, however, as you're sneaking along, you see. Let me hang on 1 second. You sense the, and Moira, perhaps you sort of pick up on this as well, having smelt it before. This stench of rot becomes quite pungent, leading into this area. It sort of assaults your senses as you come round it, and as you sort of peek around the corner of this area, you do sense this overarching sort of smell of decay and death. Looking down it, and it sort of makes you hesitant to continue on in this path. However, as you look around the corner, stealthing around as best you can, you do notice what seems to be some kind of creature. It's about 10 or 15 feet down in ahead of you. And from where you are, give me a perception check, actually, Tisfan. 11. So from the distance that you're at the moment, looking down about, say, 15, 20 feet down the alleyway at the moment, having snuck up the corner, it doesn't seem to have noticed you, but you do see a what looks like a large sort of shaggy dog creature. But whether you were expecting this or not, it does seem to have possibly 2 heads. But nonetheless, it looks like some kind of sort of shaggy dog-sized kind of creature.
I'm gonna use my divine sense. As an action, you can detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Perfect.
Do I sense anything?
Yeah, so you don't sense any celestial or fiend or undead or anything like that, but you definitely get a sense of evil coming from this creature.
Tisvan will slowly back up again.
Perfect.
Hoping that it didn't notice him.
What's going on?
There is some form of creature down that path. I don't know what it.
Something.
I don't know what it is, but I'm getting the feeling that it is not good news.
Okay, so don't go there. Where are we going? Where? What do we do?
Guess we only have one more path to look.
I'm not going down there.
I'll go first.
I'm still keeping up the ruse of stealth.
Attempting to, I would say, yes.
Yeah, then if you're going in a different direction, then please give me another stealth check, please, as you head down this corridor.
I just gotta point out that since we're doing stealth, Amoros is most likely not having his balls of light up, because that would just reveal us.
Right,
No.
okay, yeah, that would be a good call. So would you still have your shield lit up then, Kane?
Has anyone got like a cloth or a cape or anything they can lend me?
It might not matter anyway, based on the rolls that you guys have made now.
Because I would try and cover my shield with something until I needed it again, but it does mean that I'm going to be blind.
Yes, anyone who doesn't have any light is going to be that we can't see in the dark is going to find it difficult to see.
Tisvan is not that smart, so he would still be holding the torch.
Okay, all right. So it's a moot point then, eventually. So you're still holding the torch, so there is light for everyone to see as you continue down. And unfortunately, warily as you all are going down here, you are unable to be quite as silent as you has been before. A lot of you with armor, a lot of you sort of getting fed up of going backwards and forwards between these corridors. And you believe you're being as stealthy as you can, but you may be making a little bit more noise than you would normally. And Tisvan,
Following, going, wait, what are you doing?
Tisvan, as you continue down this pathway, the torch light that you have as well, you can see that the corridor bends round to the north and continues away north of where you currently are. However, you do see what Amoros had told you about before, which is these sort of silver thin threads that sort of cover the a small entrance to another tunnel continuing to the east. And you can see now at this distance these sort of webs that sort of cover this sort of area, going deeper into this eastern path. How close do you get towards this area?
I'd say he'd go right around here so he could look up
Yep.
towards the north there, but no, not closer
Yeah.
than necessary.
Not close to the net. Okay, no worries. So, so give me a perception check. Cool. So 15. So so as you look around to the north, you see the passageway continues for again another about 15, 20 feet, but then it does seem to sort of end in another dead end.
Where is this bloody dog?
What's everyone else doing while Tiffany is looking down the corridor?
I'm just trying to get people to leave. I want to go. Can we just go? Can we just go? Please?
Moira is gonna go a little bit closer to the whatever this is.
Yeah. So Moira, you can see that there's sort of like spider webs sort of coming across, thin, spindly, like very frail spider webs that kind of coat the inside of this sort of almost like it is a tunnel. It doesn't seem to go from where you currently are that deep, but these cobwebs seem to linger and sort of cover over the briar that clings to the wall. Give me a perception check, please.
Well, I was just about to ask if I could do that.
You can indeed. 14. Yeah,
14?
not too bad. So, as Tisfan is sort of holding this light out, he's looking at the corridor the other way, but there's enough light from that torch as he's moving it around that you see the glinting of the spider web as it catches at different angles. But then you notice sort of deeper in, behind or in between where these webs are, something else glitters. Something else glitters there. Not the same glitter as the spider web itself. Something, some like almost like a gem, like a little sparkle that comes from deep within on the ground.
Sparkle!
Oh no.
Oh god.
It's difficult to see any more details of it at this distance, and it's only because of the light being moved around that it seemed to shine itself. But there does seem to be something that sparkles deep within, but you'd have to get nearer to sort of identify what it is.
Why do you keep putting these things in front of Moira?
She just happened to be there. It's just happened to be at the front.
Why does Moira keep going there? Do I see any sign of spooters or anything on the web?
From where you currently are, no, you haven't. Not with that perception check. You didn't seem to see any. There didn't seem to be any spiders crawling. It just seems to be a sort of a mat of spider web. Some of it looks like it's been here for quite a long time.
Seeing as this one is pretty much lighting up the area with his torch, Amos is actually gonna bring out the light boss again, but seeing the spider webs, he has this crawling feeling and send at least one of them up because he doesn't trust if, like, he gets the feeling that somebody's gonna jump on us.
Okay.
In an area like this with fucking spider webs, like, come on.
Yeah, so you're going to send your ball of light. Where are you going to send it?
Straight up to the ceiling. Is there anything above us? Is what he wants to know.
Can you ping on the map where you're going to be putting it?
Can I ready a spell?
Right above Moira.
Okay, so you put the light right above Moira. Sorry, what are you going to say, Galatea?
Can I ready another ray of frost just in case anything appears?
Yeah, yeah. So yes, the glowing orb appears above you, Moira, and you see a bit more illumination going down there. And definitely now with this additional light here, you see that sparkle. It looks like there might be a couple of objects there, deep at the back of this sort of like little hollow. But with the additional light, give me another perception check and see what else you can see in there.
Oh no, that's a 6.
Yeah, it's difficult. The light, although picking up on those whatever is shiny at the back, is definitely illuminating that. Unfortunately, that additional light being so close to you, is actually casting shadows from the spiderwebs and that, and it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to see. And actually, you don't really notice anything else.
I just kind of try to swat the light ball away.
Okay.
Bula and Kane, what are you doing currently?
She is just kind of watching things going on, to be honest. She'd been proud of herself for being sneaky for once, and then listened to everyone else not be sneaky, and she was like, "Ah, never mind." And now she's just watching the chaos,
Okay.
debating whether or not she's going to intervene with Moira, with her antics of liking shiny things.
Awesome. And Kane, what are you doing at the back there?
Can I try and roll persuasion on Galatea to try and keep her calm, because I can see her spiraling?
I'll let you decide, Galatea. Because I don't usually allow the rolling of those sort of checks on each other, because I don't feel like you should take away the agency from somebody else if they are panicking. But if you want to, Galatea, see if if Kane can calm you down, then I'll allow it.
Depends on what he says.
It's up to you if you want to maybe roll an insight or something on Kane, or a persuasion of your own. You know, I wouldn't say, oh, if I get a 20, then you instantly calm down.
Yeah.
I want
Well,
to.
If you're happy for him to try, then I'll let him roll a persuasion check, and we'll see how well that happens. Then you can decide what happens and how that affects you.
Yeah. I still want to know what he says, though.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Cool.
Kane is going to turn to... I'm not rolling first, am I? I thought I was talking fast. And then...
You may talk and then you may roll. We'll see how persuasive your words are.
So, yeah, he turns to Galatea, and he can see the obvious signs. Besides the occasional, begging for us to leave, he can see the obvious signs that you don't really want to be here. And he kind of glances over at you and says, I understand that you are feeling maybe a little like you don't belong here at the moment. I can kind of see it in you. Despite me not being the most people friendly of priests, I did have to listen to the confessions sometimes, and there were many a person that would come into the booth and tell me that they felt the same thing that you do right now. They didn't have to fell giant boars or deal with mud that drained the color away from garments and skin, but they had their own troubles, and I said to them that as much as sometimes you feel like you want to run from your problems and you want to escape tackling them head on, can sometimes really be the only way to get rid of them for good. And you're contributing more than you seem to think that you are to all of us. I don't know what you gave Amoros. It really seemed to help him. Even if it didn't knit his wounds back together, he forgot about them, and it gave him the opportunity to back away from the beast so that it could be felled. Don't put yourself down so hard and want to leave when I think that we have a much better chance of surviving in this brambled and brackened maze with you around.
Okay. If you would like to roll persuasion, but with advantage, please. After your eloquent speech.
I was going to say that. Well,
Oh, 6s or 9s even. So yeah, you get to decide
Right.
how does that affect you? How does Galatea react to those words?
so I think I decided that the role would then determine whether Galatea was able to pay attention or not. Because they are freaking out. And I hadn't really realized that until someone pointed it out. But yeah. Um I think the words would look like they're starting to sink in, but just not having any immediate effect. Just they'll be sort of half putting away their. No, they will just still be ready for a thing, but like looking very slightly more relaxed than before.
Cool. And Kane, you will decide whether how you if Galatea's reaction puts you at ease and you think that she's now more relaxed, or if she's not. But you have made this speech to her to try and calm her down.
That's great. I'll roll insight. Let the dice decide.
Okay.
Well, you look like you've calmed down a lot. Let's go.
Nice addict.
Perfect. Awesome. Right, Tisfin.
Seeing Moira go closer to the spiderwebs, Tisman would walk up with her, holding the torch. Probably a little bit too close to the spiderwebs, to be honest.
And
Just to see what it is she's looking for.
yeah,
Do.
and as you hold that sort of torch there, you're creating even more light, yeah, within this area. And bringing that torch in close to the spiderwebs, just the wispiness of them, you can just see them sort of any that are kind of close to the flame, just sort of like ignite and just sort of burn away very quickly. Not catching the whole thing on fire, but just burning if they come into contact with it. And in fact, yeah, why don't you make me a perception check while you're there as well with additional light source. Oh, 18. Very good. So yeah, now that you're over here as well, peering into this area, you see these multiple little shiny objects, sort of some at the back of this area. And as you look around, sort of in that area as well, you see other shiny things higher up in the more of the ceiling area. Two sort of large shiny things, and then some 3 or 4 more little shiny things above it. And then as you're looking at the little shiny orbs, you see them all sort of wink in and out of existence as if eyes opening and closing. And you see a giant spider looking down at you from the ceiling.
Yay!
Hey!
Seeing it coming.
Did it with my spell.
Let's roll for initiative.
Could we actually hold it
I'm too
here?
far away.
Do you have to go?
I'm really tired.
It's all right. You'll be wound up in a nice cocoon of cobwebs soon. Then you can have a nice little sleep.
Wow.
But yes, we can pause things here if you wish, if it's getting too late. Is actually if is everybody else wanting to finish as well, or are other people happy to stay a little bit longer? I don't know if more of you would be okay with us continuing a little bit if you're not here, or would you prefer us to stop where we are?
You guys can continue. If
Are you
want.
sure?
Only if everybody else is not wanting to leave as well. Like if you're tired too, then we can.
I mean, I'm good to go, but just oh,
I might be good for maybe another half an hour at best, I would say.
Luna, say it out loud.
I mean, I don't want to say why I want to stop, but I think I should for
Okay,
tonight.
that's fine. All right, we will end things here. That's fine. It's quite all right. We'll end things at this point, and we can pick them up again here at another time. We have played for a little while as well, and a lot of things have happened. So we will pick it up from this point at our next adventure. But as always, thank you very much, everyone, for playing. I hope you have enjoyed what happened this session.
Yeah. I mean, we're not dead yet, so.
Not yet.
Yeah.
My aim was not to kill anyone on their birthday, so.
Thank you.
Although the boar did try to take out someone's birthday who's very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and we'll pick this up again next time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Absolutely, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Thanks,
Vala.
mate.
Best birthday.